Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody had a great weekend. It was beautiful out, and I hope you all got outside a little bit and had some fun. Today, we're going to watch a brain pop on sculptures. And for your homework, I'm going to ask you to create a sculpture of your own, and we'll talk about that after we watch the brain pop. So I'll get the brain pop started, and you guys can all watch along and enjoy.
Your sculpture is coming along nicely, Moby. What is a sculpture? An image in a painting, drawing, or photograph has two dimensions. It has length and width. A sculpture is a piece of artwork that has three dimensions. It has length, width, and depth. You're creating a statue, which is a sculpture that is modeled after someone or something. But some sculptures are abstract and don't really look like anything you can recognize right away. You can find sculptures everywhere. You can find sculptures in parks, museums, and in some places of worship, like churches and temples. Sculptures can be part of memorials and even a part of buildings. Sculptures can be really tall and have movable parts, or they can fit into the palm of your hand. What materials can you use to make sculptures? Sculptors work in different mediums to create their artwork. Not exactly, Moby. A medium is a material used by an artist. The medium you're working with is stone. Some artists work with clay, wood, metal, paper, or a combination of mediums. You can use found objects to create sculptures, or use materials found in nature. You can even use light and sound to create a sculpture. How can you create sculptures? There are a lot of different ways you can make sculptures. You can start with a material and remove some of it to create a form or shape. You can bring materials together to build and create a sculpture. You can start with one thing and then replace parts of it with something different. You can even change things to make something new. How can sculptures communicate feelings and ideas? This sculpture was created by Auguste Rodin in 1902. It's called The Thinker, and the subject looks like he's struggling with a problem. His facial expression and body language help communicate a feeling we've all experienced. Alexander Calder was a sculptor who lived from 1898 to 1976. He created mobiles, sculptures that hang in the air, to explore the ideas of force, motion, and balance. In 1970, the artist Robert Smithson partly buried a woodshed to explore how time and nature can change things that humans make. In 1999, Louise Bourgeois created a very large spider sculpture to explore people's fears. When you create a sculpture, think about what idea or feeling you want to communicate or explore. Explore using shape, color, and symbols in your work. A symbol is something that stands for something else. For example, a heart is a symbol of love, and a dove is a symbol for peace. You can also explore different textures. Texture is how something feels. I'm using different materials in my sculpture to explore texture and shape. My sculpture communicates how we use things from nature. What does your sculpture share? Your sculpture shows that you're the smartest robot in the world?
All right, so that is the end of the video. Now we're going to take our easy quiz. There we go.
Start.
First, look at this picture.
What might the texture of this sculpture be like?
Now the texture,
What
what
might the
does the texture deal with?
brown, bumpy, soft, slimy?
All right. So looking at that, we don't know if it's slimy or not, because you can't tell. It's got bumps all over it, and it's brown. So it's either
Brown,
brown or
bumpy.
bumpy. Which one is the
What might
texture?
the
The texture has to do with how it feels. So which one of the A or B tells you how it might feel? If you guessed B,
bumpy?
you were correct.
You can manipulate clay. You can manipulate clay to form it into a sculpture. What does manipulate mean?
So you can manipulate clay to form it into a sculpture. They want to know what manipulate means.
To use your hands and fingers to change something. To heat clay in the oven so it gets harder and stronger. To learn about artists who use clay to make sculptures. To show your artwork to others and explain your ideas.
All right, so manipulating it to form it into a sculpture would mean, if you guessed A,
To use your hands and fingers to change something.
you were correct.
To use your hands and fingers to change something. Which is a symbol for good luck?
Which one of these mean good luck? And there's a holiday you might think of good luck that it goes with. This is a dove with a twig in its beak. Here is a shamrock. Number C is a heart. And D is an apple. Which one of those is a symbol for luck? And if you picked the shamrock, which goes with St. Patrick's Day and luck, you were correct.
What is a type of sculpture that hangs in the air?
Type of sculpture that hangs in the air. And a lot of time babies will have these above their crib. Is it
A model. A mobile. A balance. A material.
right? So I gave you a hint that it's something that babies have in their cribs a lot. It is
A mobile.
a mobile. Good. Now we have to
Which
talk about the
happens
order of
first?
things. Okay, which one happens first?
Moby uses his sketch to build his sculpture.
Okay, he uses a sketch that he made to build a sculpture.
Moby sketches out an idea for his sculpture.
He sketches out an idea for his sculpture.
Moby gets all the things he needs for his sculpture.
He gets everything he needs for his sculpture.
Moby shares his finished sculpture with the class.
He shares his finished sculpture with the class. All right. So which one happens first? We'll start with B and C.
Moby
He
shares
has,
his finished sculpture with the class.
he shows his sculpture to the class.
Moby gets all the things he needs for his sculpture.
He got all the things he needs for the sculpture. So which one of those would have to happen first? He gets the things to make the sculpture, or he shows his finished sculpture to the class? And if you guess C
Mo-
for those two, you're right.
Mo-
So C happened first. Now we'll go A and B and figure out which one of those happened first. A,
Moby uses his sketch to build his sculpture.
he uses a sketch that he made to build the sculpture,
Moby sketches out an idea for his sculpture.
or he makes a sketch. Now he's not going to be able to use a sketch if he hasn't made it yet. So if you guess that B happened
Moby
first,
sketches out an idea for his
then you were correct. He sketched out the idea before he could use the sketch. Now we have to figure out B and C, since those were the first two that we chose from those groups. So
Moby sketches out an idea for his sculpture.
he sketches out the idea,
Moby gets all the things he needs for his sculpture.
and he gets all the things he needs for his sculpture. Which one happens first? If you guessed B,
Moby sketches out an idea
correct.
for his
Good
sculpture.
job. All right. Great job with that, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something. So, first I'm going to ask you a couple questions that you need to think about when you are going to create your sculpture. Does it have to look like anything in particular? No, it doesn't. It can look like anything. It can look like nothing. If you want to try to make it look like something, you can. If you want to just make it look like crazy and whatever you want it to look like, you can do that as well. How big? That doesn't matter either. So you can make it as big as you want, and you can make it as small as you want. Does not matter. And that's why I chose this, because it is up to you to make whatever you want. What materials do you use? Or what medium do you use is what they use the word for the materials that you use. You can use whatever you want. Some of the things they talked about using were wood, clay, metal, paper, and other objects that you might have. You can use anything you want to make your sculpture. Um, and the things to think about, what I want you to think about when you're finished with your sculpture, are the shape of it, the color of it, the symbols you might use in it, and how does it feel? All right. And then tomorrow when we Zoom, you're going to share your sculpture with us. All right. So that's your homework, is to create a sculpture. Think about how to describe it, what shape. And remember, it doesn't have to be a specific shape. It doesn't have to be like anything. And if it's not a specific shape, you can say that it is abstract. Okay, you can practice using that word if it doesn't look like anything in particular. The colors that you use, and the symbols you might use, and the texture. So you're going to describe your sculpture to us and then show it to us tomorrow. All right. So everybody have a great day and enjoy making your sculpture.